Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of FFB from the 50. I'm here once again with my buddy Dave. We're going to discuss Week 1. And we're going to go through here. What I've done is I've prepared the top 5 most positive surprises and the biggest letdowns at each position. Now, a lot of this is relative to where a player was drafted, because obviously if you had a guy that you took in the 13th round and he produced 13th round numbers, okay, that's to be expected. But
the big but in there, and a lot of them ran all over the place this weekend. Very surprising at who your leaders are, and extremely surprising who your negative nannies are.
Yeah.
And they might as well be working with the nanny.
The one thing, too, that Dave and I are going to do for you as we go through here is we're going to create a hypometer on a scale of 1 to 5, with 1 being not very hyped and 5 being super hyped, that we're going to use for these guys that have overachieved and surprised us in a good way. And we're going to do a scale of 1 through 5 on a panic meter for the ones that are going to be the letdowns. So, the problem with fantasy football, and Dave, you are an experienced fantasy football player, there is nothing that excites me more than watching the guys get dropped after week 1 that get dropped, because there's guys that don't perform in week 1, and it's an aberration. It's not going to be that way.
Week 1.
People
week 1.
get overexcited and whatnot. They start dropping these players. I'm just out there licking my chops, and okay, I'm going to take these guys because you let them go.
Oh yeah, and it's like we talked about in a previous episode. You wait till week 3, week 4. That way you know what you have.
Yeah.
Week 1's a fluke. It's a defensive week because offenses are still struggling.
Well, and how many of these players that are starters didn't even really play in the preseason anymore? They just don't do it. So the other thing too, Dave, while we're doing this discussion, is I do want to weave the conversation towards some of these teams. And I'm gonna kind of spoil some of this. We're talking about this video, the first video in the series that we're about to do is going to be on the quarterbacks. We're going to weave in, the story about, are the Colts for real? But we're also going to talk about Tua and how bad he did. Is Miami cooked? So we're going to weave those stories in. So this is going to be the video on the quarterbacks, and then we'll do one for running backs, wide receivers, tight ends. We'll go through each position, and we'll go from there. So, Dave, I went through here, and I just went through and picked out, for the quarterbacks, the 5 that I thought overperformed, surprised me the most. And what I'd really like to do, like I said, go through these, look at them with that hype meter, 1 through 5, with 1 being, this is not real, this is not going to be sustained, to 5 being, there might be something to this player. And we're going to go in reverse order. So for me, number 5 was Michael Penix. So Penix scored 24.02 points, and the scoring settings for this are half point PPR, by the way, for this entire series. And quarterbacks only get 4 points for a passing touchdown. Is this
one of the teams?
This would be for like a public league, not your private league settings. This is very standard across the public leagues. So Michael Penix scores 24.02 points, good enough for a QB 10, which is a QB 1, and even in a 10-person league, especially in a 12-person league, against Tampa Bay. So, Dave, hype meter. Is this kind of a just, hey, this is week 1, let's not get too excited about Michael Penix and he's a 1? Is it a, nope, he's the real deal, I like what I saw already, he's a 5, or is it somewhere in between for you?
He's a 3. And he's right in between, and I can tell you why. 1, he's still a rookie. He may be older, but he is still a rookie. And he showed great chemistry with his receivers and hitting the backs of the backfield and using his legs when needed to be. I think the hype is up there, but again, it is week 1. Let's see how it happens when we get to week 3 and week 4. See if we settle down. See if he's more averaging 18 points per contest, which is where I think he's going to be. Because they have a lot of weapons in Atlanta, but also can he read defenses? Can he change that when they start schematically adjusting to the way he plays the game? So week 3, week 4.
Yeah, and I agree. I put the hypometer at 3 for him as well. And for a lot of the same reasons, as he played, 2 games, 3 games at the end of last year, 1 game, so maybe 4 games, maybe a quarter of an actual full season. So,
But at the end of that season, there wasn't really much at stake. So when you have nothing much at stake, you're playing for repetition, you're playing for muscle memory, you're playing for basically snaps. Because the only way you get better is by taking snaps.
Well, and you're correct when you say, let's wait and see when there's more tape.
Right.
The defenses are going to get more tape on this guy. They're going to figure things out. But the reason for me it is a 3 and not a 1 or a 2 is because I know Drake London got banged up. He's going to be okay. But Kyle Pitts actually looked pretty decent. Mm-hmm. They used Bajan out of the backfield. Mm-hmm. He looked pretty good. Darnell Mooney missed a lot of the preseason with injuries.
And Mooney was good in Chicago.
Yeah. Oh, I love Mooney.
Yeah.
I always thought he was underrated when he played for the Bears,
Bears.
which I can't say with any more enthusiasm today than that. Oh. So both of us agree a 3 on Penix.
But you also didn't start at your honorable mentions.
No, and we'll get to that too. We'll get to that at the end. Yeah, we'll get to that. All right, number 4 on the list.
Oh, man.
Aaron Rodgers. So
I almost give him a 2. I don't know where he's going to end up.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't. He didn't look like the Aaron Rodgers of old. So, but he also hasn't really played for 2 years. So, on top of that. And I'll be honest with you, playing for a Mike Tomlin team, you're going to be halfway decent, no matter whether the quarterback plays good or not.
A lot of discipline on that defense. So Aaron played against the Jets. He scored 25.66 points, good enough for RB7 ranking overall. I'm going to put that hypometer, once again, we're going to agree, at a 2. Now, hey, listen, he scored 25.66 points, but in these leagues that only do 4 points per passing touchdown, he threw 4 touchdown passes. He's not going to throw 4 touchdown passes every week, and he's not mobile.
No, anymore. And he's on a team that is not expecting him to throw 4 touchdown passes. No. He's on a team that plays consistent ball on both sides of the ball, and that's what they want to do. They don't want him to lose the game, and that's why he is there.
Mm-hmm. All right, next one up on the list, number 3, Justin Herbert. Went against Kansas City.
I can just stop you there. My hype is hype. My hype is hype.
Okay.
I've been a big fan of Herbert's for a long time, and with Jim Harbaugh there, I'm giving him a 5. I just can't wait to see how the season goes.
Okay.
If they stay healthy, let's put it that way.
All right. So Justin Herbert played against Kansas City, scored 27.92 points, good enough for QB number 5. And I'm a 4.5, so I'm not quite at a 5. But I'll tell you why I'm so excited about Herbert. It was kind of nice. Everybody said, well, they're just going to run with Hampton. They're just going to run with Najee. It's a Harbaugh team. They're just going to run. That's not what I saw, Dave. That's not what I saw.
I saw a great blend, a great offense, and I'd be super stoked if I was a San Diego fan, even though I don't know if they have any of those.
Yeah, and that's because they play in L.A.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So, but it goes even a step further. So we already know that Ladd McConkey is going to be a solid football player. They get Keenan Allen back. Keenan Allen looked. I'm going to say like he's the stud that he was 5 years ago.
He's a third down conversion.
He looked really good. And Quentin Johnston, when they drafted him, I'm sure they had aspirations for him to be their wide receiver number 1. That's why they used the draft capital that they used on him. But he is just thriving when he's not having to face the other team's best corner. I feel like the pressure is off of him. And he's just thriving. That really looked really good, really comfortable. And Justin Herbert, he had a couple of decent scrambles that, where did that come from?
Oh, yeah. And he has all the tools. I'm excited for him. I almost wish I was a San Diego fan at this point.
Well, I went out and picked him up in a couple leagues, and yeah.
So did I.
All right, here's one for you. I'm gonna pump the brakes a little bit here because I'm a Bears fan first and foremost, but I'm a Colts fan second. So Daniel Jones. Played against Miami, scored 29.48 points, good enough for position ranking number 3. Dave, I got to be honest with you.
This is a 1. 1.
So
might be a 0.
I'm going to disagree with you on this. I'm going to go 3.5. And here's why. I don't need him to be a good real-life quarterback. We're talking fantasy football. And what does Danny Dimes do? He scrambles. He runs the ball. He's good with his legs. Okay. He got 2 touchdowns on the ground.
I'm more getting into the I don't like Danny Dimes thing.
So we don't like Danny Dimes
from a fantasy football perspective. Yes, you probably have a correct point. He is going to be very productive during the season of fantasy football. I don't think he'll be 30 points worth. He'll probably be 21, 22-ish. Mm-hmm. So, but he will have those games where he does play Miami or Carolina or somebody like that, where
he's going to pop for almost 30
He's going to throw 3 touchdowns, and it'll be out of the wazoo. But he will not be at the top of this top 5 leaderboard all season long, especially when they get Jonathan Taylor into the action, which there wasn't a lot going on there.
Yeah, and they didn't. Yeah, they just didn't have to. But
yeah.
So the reason that my hypometer is at 3.5 on him is I don't expect him to be a top 10 fantasy quarterback, but I wouldn't be surprised.
He'll be consistent.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wouldn't be surprised if he winds up as a top 15. Now you could argue that a top 15 is not a QB1. Okay. That's all right, but he's a great fill-in for a bye week. But he's a great guy if somebody gets injured.
But he's consistent.
He's going to be consistent because he uses his legs, and in this scoring format, those yards and those touchdowns count for more on the ground than they do through the air.
Yeah. So now when they play a really tough defense, though, I would consider probably benching him.
Yeah, he would have been. He's definitely matchup dependent. Yeah. So, all right, hypometer for me on this guy is a 5.
Really?
It was a 5 before he left Chicago. Didn't care for his landing spot last year, but he was 4-2 as a starter. We're only talking for fantasy purposes. We're talking about Justin Fields. Plays for the Jets now, went against Pittsburgh, scored 29.52 points. Overall QB number 2, only behind Lamar Jackson. For me, the hypometer is a 5 because he does do it, again, with his legs. He had great chemistry with Garrett Wilson in college. It showed up again. They got Breece Hall active in the run game. The defense, if you're going against Pittsburgh and you're putting up those kind of points, if Pittsburgh's defense can't even figure out what you're doing, what are the other defenses that aren't as good?
The offensive line held out T.J. Watt, and and his opposite guy, who's pretty good too. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But.
So I've got him as a 5, Dave. I've got
I wouldn't
him starting.
go 5 yet. I'd really like to see another couple of weeks. But if he can keep it, my just thing is he's going to stay healthy. So, especially with him running like that, it's not going to be all that easy. So,
all right, ready for the honorable mentions? No. 2 other quarterbacks. We're not going to go into the stat lines on these fellows, but these guys both outperformed their draft performance. Caleb Williams at number 9, J.J. McCarthy at number 11.
Basically, tales of 2 halves in this one. Like, the first half, J.J. looked like a rookie. Second half, he looked like a professional. Caleb Williams in the first half, professional. Second half, rookie. It was completely opposite halves. It's like it almost was scripted.
For me, the hypometer on Caleb Williams is a 2 because he did show some scrambling ability. He had 58 yards on the ground.
He was quick, and he can get around those ends, which is great. And he can throw a rifle. He's got a heck of a gun.
Sometimes too good, too hard, too high. Overthrows his receivers, misses wide open guys.
Yeah. About got Odunze killed on the sideline.
Yeah. And for me, the hype on McCarthy is probably a 2. Can't go any higher than that, but I can't give him 1 either because he's got weapons all around him. At some point, if he does mature with the weapons he has, there's really no reason that he can't be productive.
And if you looked at his jersey last night, too, the back of his jersey was covered in green stains, which means he was on his back a lot. And that's not good for a quarterback.
No. The Bears brought the heat. All right, so now let's flip the script, Dave. Let's talk about the panicometer, and we're going to go in reverse order again with the negative surprises. Now, these are the guys that were drafted high, or at least had higher expectations and just floundered and flopped. And we're going to start with Sam Darnold. A lot of teams did not take him to be their QB1, but in Superflex leagues, he was a starter for a lot of teams.
That's a giant stretch.
Yeah, so he goes against San Francisco. He only scores 5.4 points. That's just almost unimaginable. Yeah. 5.4 points is pretty tough as a quarterback to only score that many.
I see no
for positional
upside.
Ranking of 31.
I see no upside with him.
I don't either. For me, the panicometer for me on him is...
That's a 10. He's done.
Yeah, I would say... From a... I don't really have any shares of him, so for me, there's no panic because I didn't expect anything.
If you have him out there, I don't see any light at the end of that tunnel. I see him being benched at week 4.
Yeah. If you are a Sam Darnold fantasy owner, the panicometer's got to be at least a 4 or a scorching hot 5 because, there's just...
Up. And then you go into Tua Tagovailoa.
Yeah. Tua goes against Indianapolis. Only scores 7.26 points, which included 3 turnovers.
I give this the whole team of Miami is a 1. Like this team is just it's gone from being halfway decent to a giant dumpster fire. Like that's really the way I look at it. It's bad.
If you had told me that Tua is going to be QB number 30 after week 1 when they were going against the Colts,
yeah.
I'd have been like, you're crazy. I mean,
but I'll be honest. I think Tua should have retired. But I mean, with his concussions, but at the same time, their coach I don't think he's
lost the locker room.
He's done. He wants to be a player's friend coach, and you can't do that. You got to have discipline. You got to have order, and that's what you have to do.
Well, and then he comes out and blames the team and doesn't hold himself accountable at all afterwards. But Tua's cooked for a couple different reasons. Number one, the offensive line looked terrible.
Oh. Awful.
Number two, did you hear about the assault allegations against Tyreek Hill that came out today?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's not good. Hill looked cooked anyway, but now this is just twisting that dagger that's in his heart.
So this stay away from Miami. Like, you can see Waddle getting traded at the deadline.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have Waddle, I'd hang on to him.
Yeah, that's just a... So if you have Tua, that's a scorching hot 5 on the Panicometer.
I don't even think that's scorching. I think that thing's burned to ash right now.
Yeah, there's just nothing left.
There needs to be a phoenix rising from that, but I don't see it happening.
Nope. All right, next on the list, C.J. Stroud went against the Rams, only scored 9.72 points, good for QB number 26.
Stick with him.
Stick with him. So on a scale of panic of 1 to 5, with 5 being very panicked?
1.5, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right, I'm at a 2.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could go 2. I mean, it's there. There's issues there, but I think it's stuff that he can get worked out.
Here's why I'm not more concerned. He still has Nico Collins.
Yeah, he has talent. There's a lot.
Christian Kirk didn't play; he was out hurt.
Right.
And his other 2 wide receivers are both rookies. Mm-hmm. They're going to learn the offense. It's going to grow. It's going to gel. It's going to come together. Now, looking at the run game. Sorry, but Chubb. I mean, he can make a man miss, but once he's got no burst.
He's not looking good after that. No. After that Achilles.
No, he's got so very little left in the tank.
And then they lost Mixon.
Mixon's probably done for his entire career. Yeah. There's reports out that he might never play again.
Yeah. So there's little issues there, but don't give up on Stroud. He'll be packed in there.
Yeah, and that team's going to probably become one-dimensional at some point and have to rely on him. And they've got aspirations to actually make the playoffs this year. They're not going to take their foot off the pedal. I'm not concerned. All right, next one up, Dak Prescott played against Philly, scored 7.82 points for QB number 29. And the funny part is they were actually pretty competitive in that game, and that's all that he did.
Yeah, I'm going to give this one to the 65-minute Thunder delay. I don't think anybody wanted to come out and play after that, so I'm really going to chalk that up. I'm going to give Dak about another 2 weeks here, but the panic meter is like maybe a 1 or 2. For me right now, but because like they showed surprise at running back and when they were playing, so and they had great offense. So I mean, I'm not worried about Dak. Dak's a good player. So
So on a Panicometer scale, I'm a 1. He's got good weapons. You got CeeDee Lamb. You got George Pickens, who did very little. You got Ferguson, glow around him. If Javonte can offer them anything in the run game to take a little bit of pressure off him, make even play action to work well.
Yeah.
I'm not concerned. It was a tough matchup in Week 1 against a great Philly defense. Even without Jalen Carter, they're still a good defense. I'm not concerned.
Yeah. And he even got spit on. Maybe that had something to do with it.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, caught cuties before the game even started.
Now I'll go ahead and take your number 1 for you. Joe the Stink Burrow. This team, Cincinnati never paid players. There's reasons they never paid players, because once they get paid, they stink. And this is what is happening across the board in Cincinnati. They stink. And Joe, great, you're good, smoke cigars, win national championship, it's fantastic. But, dude, show up and be a leader. Freaking come on. Get your team to play. The Bengals won a championship, but right now you guys stink.
My Panicometer on Burrow is a 1. I'm not concerned. No. I know you weren't high on him. We've got you on film even before the season started saying that you didn't have high hopes for them, but I'm not concerned. He's still got Jamar Chase. He's got T. Higgins. He's got Chase Brown. They got Noah Fant, who looked pretty good. They've still got Mike Gesicki.
They stink.
They're going to be just fine. They've never played well up in Cleveland.
They're going to end up with the number 1 draft pick.
They start out slow.
They're going to trade everybody at the trade deadline.
Come on.
They stink.
All right, how about a couple of...
They're like a rotten Sky Chili dog.
How about a couple of dishonorable mentions? Bo Nix. People had very high hopes for him.
I was high on Bo Nix.
Number 27. And Jared Goff, number 21. You worried about either one of these guys?
Goff, I'd be more worried about than Nix.
Yeah, I agree.
So Nix is still learning, and he'll get better. Goff, I think he is completely lost in the new offense because he was so ingrained in Ben Johnson's offense. I think he's just all over the place. And then he had Micah Parsons chasing him down all day, too, which, F you, Jerry Jones, for that. So, but yeah.
Yeah. I am not concerned about Bo Nix, but if he continues to play this way, I may change my mind.
Well, right. That's what I said. You got to give it week 3, week 4. I've been saying that all along.
But honestly, Jared Goff, too, is a veteran. I think he'll get it figured out. I feel like, again, these guys, this is why preseason games actually really do matter, and it always just leaves me scratching my head when these guys don't play. Come out rusty. But all right, any other thoughts on the QBs before we
No,
this video?
I'm good. I'm good at this. Brock Purdy needs to do better. I can tell you that. So he needs to rock. Brock needs to rock with his Brock out.
We'll see if he can do that.
See if he can do that.
All right, thank you all for watching this video. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Go down to the comment section, let us know which quarterback surprised you the most, whether it was good, bad, otherwise. Go down to the comment section, let us know who they are, let us know why. And let us know where these guys stand on your panicometer or on your hypometer.
If I was a Cincinnati fan, I'd be panicking.
He's talking to you, Adam and Teresa.
Mm-hmm. Panic hard. I'd be running for the hills. Drink heavily. Trust me, he was pre-med.
All right. We'll let you go on that one, on that note right there, and then we'll come back here with the next video on the wide receivers.